Hey, it's Jordan with TYT and TYT Politics. I'm here in Sacred Stone Camp in Standing Rock. Sacred Stone Camp right now has a lot of motion and activity. You got veterans here that have been coming back over the past week to help with cleanup of camps, as well as building new structures of camps to house a lot of the veterans coming back. Right now, there's everything from building structures to cleaning up trash to cooking. It's a nice little community forming, and I'm here back with former Wisconsin Representative Joe Plouffe. We spoke last time, and if people didn't see it, you're not currently serving, but you were serving, and you were just called. I mean, your heart was called to come here. You're a former Republican lawmaker. Oh, no, Democrat. And seeing what was going on here, and I think what's behind us kind of really symbolizes what's going on here. When an American flag is upside down, it's a distress call. It's a distress symbol. So when we talked last time, there was still the easement had not been granted yet. Now the easement was granted in a very hastily, I'd say, rammed through motion. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, for one thing, I do believe that the Obama administration had it right, that we needed to take a deep breath. The parties that are involved in that pipeline have made poor decisions all along. That originally was going to go through Bismarck. And when the people of Bismarck didn't want it because they were worried about their water supply, they then moved it. Okay, well, you know, it was already being under construction, I understand. So now we are in a position of fixing a terrible corporate decision. And why should the American people have to bow down to some corporation that makes poor decisions? And we have to fix it for them. No, this is not the right place for this pipeline. I don't believe that the pipeline is necessary to begin with. I mean, it is time for us to look at our resources as a people and develop those resources away from fossil fuel.
And you know what? Just so the audience knows, in the last 2 weeks, okay, we've had a report come out that Energy Transfer Partners, the parent company of this pipeline, has had 69 oil spills between 2015 and 2016. That's just what they reported. Who knows what's really the fact? Then you had in Louisiana, I know you're here, so you probably don't even know what's going on. Louisiana over the weekend, a pipeline exploded. Phillips 66, that's their pipeline. Phillips 66 owns a quarter of this pipeline. Then in Texas recently, you had another pipeline burst. That's Enbridge, which owns 27% of the pipeline. So you got a whole cocktail. I mean, this isn't like my opinion. This is just data. This is facts. Pipelines break. And then after yesterday, when a federal judge in district court denied Cheyenne River and Standing Rock Sioux Tribe a temporary restraining order, the lawyer for Energy Transfer Partners said, we're operating as quickly as possible to drill under the lake, and we should be done in 30 days. So they're saying we are working very quickly, which to me is kind of like when that pipeline burst, let's look back at that statement. What are your thoughts on all of that?
Well, my thoughts are very simple. I mean, I woke up this morning to a faint noise in the background that I do hear every now and then coming from my west. And it is the drilling or from the drill pad. So they are working hard. They are working fast. Are they working smart? I don't know. You know, that's what taking that deep breath and having bigger discussions about this would be. Maybe there is an alternative to drilling right now. But right now, people are worried about that. People are worried that these accidents that are happening, and they happen daily, all the time. Once you have a spill, we rush people in to clean up. Well, what does clean up mean? Oh, we bring in a bulldozer, we take this dirt and that mud and the muck over here, and we pile it somewhere. But that water that's been contaminated is contaminated for a long, long, long time. They don't decontaminate the water. You might not see that oil, you might not smell that oil, oftentimes you can, but that's a problem. And we have to get our hands around this. We have to reduce our dependency on that fossil fuel, especially the dirty oil coming from our north.
And something else that really struck me as just a really dumbfounding statement, Energy Transfer Partners, because this suit that was brought yesterday was about religious rights. Cheyenne River, Standing Rock Sioux, they took a different tact. They said their religious rights are and freedom is in imminent harm by this pipeline because the water is sacred. They use it for sacred ceremonies, things like that. So Energy Transfer Partners said, you know, we 100% respect the tribes and their sacred rights, and this won't impinge upon them. Well, the judge said, well, in ruling against it, said there's no imminent harm because the oil isn't flowing. I mean, that's kind of like, yeah, no, okay, yeah, the oil isn't flowing, so let's kick the can down the road till the pipeline's built. Have you ever known a federal judge or government, once an energy company has fully built a pipeline, to say, no, you can't do it?
That corporation is already starting to cry crocodile tears. That's the problem they had in Bismarck. They run into opposition here, and now they start to cry. It's going to spend money. We're going to have to spend money to fix this thing. We just want to do it what we want to do. To hell with you, citizens. To hell with you, nations. No. Right over there, we're talking 50 feet away last night, we had a ceremony around the sacred fire. And it was led by Native friends of mine. They don't want their sacred land, their sacred sites disrupted and tore up. My God, we wouldn't take a freeway through Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right through a veteran cemetery, would we? Or have we gotten to that point in our lives as a nation? Have we gotten there? Do we no longer worry about things like that? Do we just do what we want to do whenever we want to do? I don't think so. I think America's still bigger than that.
I want to ask, as a former lawmaker, you know, I tend to be a little harder on Democrats because we know the Republicans, in my view, are pretty much corrupt. They don't hide it. I mean, Trump's not hiding it. So, you know, me beating on them is useless. However, you got the Democrats right now in Congress are rightly going after Trump for things like the refugee ban. You know, a lot of this immigration stuff is really just dog whistle racism. Yet, I don't hear anything from them. I've heard little things. The day Obama denied the permit, they came out and cheered. But right now, I mean, I have not heard anything from Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Cory Booker, even Elizabeth Warren. I've heard things from Bernie Sanders. I've heard things from Tulsi Gabbard. Not just on the pipeline, but on the abuse and the really brutalization that's being perpetrated by police. Just here 2 weeks ago, a BIA cop beat up an unarmed water protector. It was live on Facebook. What are your thoughts on just, in my view, they always talk about we're normalizing Trump and his racism. Well, isn't it kind of normalizing, you know, kind of domestic terroristic behavior by saying nothing?
Well, yes, it is. And I do believe the American people are saying more and more, and they're standing up more and more. They're worried. We're worried. I'm worried. I stood right up there, right on that knoll, and I watched that woman be beat. Just this morning I learned that there was somebody from South Dakota coming in, and he was stopped in Mobridge, South Dakota. They were arrested for having medical marijuana, a legal prescription in their pocket from the state of Michigan. Now all of a sudden,
and they were veterans, I was told.
They are veterans, and all of a sudden, their car and all of their personal goods are confiscated, awaiting sale, they were told. Well, excuse me, I'm not an attorney, but the way I understand how we work in this country and have always worked, you're not guilty until you stand before your jury and your judge and you are found guilty. It's not up to a police state to make that decision, and it's not up to the police state to sell your personal property because they have what they think is a case against you.
Well, we see this happening a lot where police, whether it's South Dakota, North Dakota, if they think you're a water protector or now a veteran, it seems, coming to, you know, for this cause, there's intimidation. They kind of play fast and loose with the laws. I have several water protectors that I've been in contact with that are facing trials. They keep getting their hearings and trial dates continually moved back, yet they're told you can't leave North Dakota. Well, they've lost their homes, they've lost their jobs because they've been here in a holding pattern, not to mention that most of these charges are not exactly, are kind of concocted. You know, felony inciting a riot when you're standing around a teepee praying. I mean, you've seen this. What are your thoughts on just the stall tactics and the kind of wild, wild west legal system?
My tent mate is under those kinds of charges. He was taken out of a sweat lodge in his underwear.
Which is, by the way, a extremely sacred ceremony that by taking them out like that is, like we talked about, impinging on their religious rights.
Would the police go into my United Church of Christ and take me out? Enough said. It's a wrong thing to do. These Native Americans practice a deep, deep found religion that is centuries old. And it may not look like mine, but that doesn't mean it's any different or any less sacred. He was taken out of a sacred ceremony in his underwear. He was jailed, and he was let out of jail at 3:30 in the morning in his underwear. And I don't care what kind of charges he had against him. He shouldn't be punished before a judge says you are guilty. And people out here are being punished before they even have the opportunity to go to trial and to have that judge say you are guilty or you are not guilty. That's wrong.
You know, my last question is this. I see right now in the country, like I said, correctly so, a mobilization and a movement against racism, bigotry, xenophobia, whether it's Trump doing this, the people around him, and the people who support him. And that's encouraging. Yet, to me, what does it matter if that victory, if we win that victory, if nobody could drink water? Because we could set it could be victorious where we get, defeat Trump and refugees are allowed to come in and we have a very vibrant immigration system and America stays a mixed bowl of cultures and freedoms. But if this pipeline bursts, if that pipeline bursts, if this one explodes, if this water source is contaminated, I mean, eventually the house of cards falls. So to me, the fact that there's really no coverage of this, it's not surprising. The media doesn't find this sexy enough, but everybody fighting for those causes, can't we multitask? Because it is everybody's water, whether you're white, black, straight, gay, black, brown, purple, whatever. It seems like there's a cognitive dissonance between the fight against, all this terrible stuff Trump is doing, where a lot of those people don't even know about this, are not fighting about this.
Well, I don't know if they're not fighting about this. Certainly, Jason, I think they know about it. They believe in it. And they just have their priorities set where they are working on their issues. I did hear that in St. Paul, Minnesota last weekend, there was a group of people that went out to support taking away funding for Planned Parenthood, a group of 500 people. 5,000 showed up in support of Planned Parenthood. Now, I haven't talked to those 5,000 people, but I bet if I did, had a conversation with them, all of a sudden we're going to find common ground. That I would be there too. I believe in their cause. They believe, many of them believe in this cause. And what's happening, I believe, is you're seeing the mobilization of a movement. And that movement is starting to weave together. And we as a nation are at a crossroads. We are either going to support us as individuals or we're going to go down that corporate path of politicians only kowtowing to corporations. And I'm hopeful that we are going to weave and mobilize America to take the correct path for the people.
Thank you again. Appreciate it. And I will be here throughout the day. We'll probably do another live video, possibly on the Young Turks Facebook page. And we have other videos up on youtube.com/TYTpolitics. Just a little update. The Standing Rock Sioux tribe, I believe today, I spoke with their lawyer yesterday, Jan Hasselman. That interview is up on youtube.com/TYTpolitics. Jan was in D.C. yesterday representing Standing Rock Sioux at the hearing. They will be filing a summary judgment motion, which is essentially a overall lawsuit that asks for an expedited ruling on the entire lawsuit against the Army Corps of Engineers. He told me they're probably filing that today. So summary judgment would essentially ask a federal judge to expedite the ruling against the Army Corps. That lawsuit has environmental harm as its rock bed, as well as sacred sites being at risk, and all of those factors. So Standing Rock Sioux will be filing a summary judgment, and I'll keep reporting on this. Obviously, as I reported yesterday, the restraining order being denied was not a good thing. I'm not going to bullshit you. However, people are still coming back here. I was here a week ago. I had to leave for a few days. I'm back now, and it's Sacred Stone here, where the veterans are building, is even more built up, and that's just me being gone 5 days. So it looks like the veterans and other water protectors that are returning are not really being deterred by this judge denying and all the naysayers saying all hope is lost and this pipeline's going through. So we'll see what happens. I'll be here throughout the day talking to more people, and we'll try to go live as much as we can. Thanks.